Why am I here? Why are you going to listen to me, believe me, and not say, screw you, go away, I'm not going to watch you? Well, my name is Valeria. You can call me Lera for short. Address me in English, Russian, any language you speak. Use your hands, I get it as well. I'm a teacher, though I quitted my official employment almost a year ago, and now I can say for sure that I was kind of satisfactory teacher. So at the moment, I'm mostly a youth worker. I'm giving youth trainers, and I work on cooperation between our NGOs and foreign NGOs, which allow youngsters of your age, of your capacities and abilities, to build up the brighter future that we have today. But first, let's introduce to you a little bit. Let's raise your hands, those guys who are going to watch football and support Russia today. Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm not with you, sorry, I'm on Croatia's side. Okay, raise the hands, those of you who speak more than one foreign language. Jesus Christ, you're smart. How many, by the way, it's not? Okay, who has three foreign languages? Wow. But your hands look pretty simple, like where on earth do you keep the knowledge? Okay, cool. And please raise the hands, those who use an iPhone or iPad or anything which starts with I. Okay, I'm definitely in the wrong place, but let's do it. So, one more basic question. Please raise your hands, those people who haven't yet finished school. Okay. Oh, those who are go to school, okay, excellent. So, what we are going to do right now is, okay, it's not going to be a tree, of course, and this is going to be the never-ending something. How does the life of a typical Belarusian teenager look like? So, okay, so here is the house where you were born, blah, 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 your toys. Let's start somewhere with the age of 12 and 14, when basically you start realizing, Jesus Christ, I'm a teenager. I need to make some mess. My parents are living a very happy life. At the age of 12, 14, what did you do at this age? Do you remember? Anyone?
Play computer games.
Exactly. Excellent. I must confess I was playing Barbie dolls, which doesn't really look appealing, but still. Yeah, so maybe you have some hobbies, but can you please tell me about the institution which steals the majority of your free time and time in general?
School.
Thank you. You're smart. It's a pleasure to work with you. Okay, once more, since I don't work at school, please raise your hand, those people who like school for any other reason than just communicating with friends.
Belarusian school?
Yep. Okay, I definitely see that you're smart. Really well done. Cool. So then, let's say you turn 16 something, you have to ask yourself the question what you're going to do, whether you're going to continue your school education or you're going to go to a college. I'm sure you know that if you choose the second option, probably most people will say goodbye to you in your life because college education doesn't sound appealing in our country at all. So let's say, okay, we put it college with a huge question mark, because if you go to college, you basically lose all the prestige you had. Or you can go ahead, and at the age of 17, 18, where do you go? Thank you. Of course, our lovely Belarusian universities, which teach us the things we basically don't need even today. After university, what happens? Yeah, for 5 years, you're writing some papers, you're wasting your money on printing and stuff, and paper, and what? What's the purpose? Seriously? Okay, you are 22, you have no job, you have a diploma which nobody likes because everybody wants you to have 5 years of experience and they ask you to be super nice. That's why basically here another question appears. What am I supposed to do? You're super lucky if you are not asked for 2 years of official employment, which are provided by our lovely government. If you are, then you will probably have to take all your luggage and go to a pimple on the map of our country, which you don't know exactly where it is located, but you still have to spend 2 most precious years of your life there. What's following you? Family, kids, maybe Turkey sometimes. If not Turkey, then you go to the Crimea. And somewhere here, I'm sorry for being so pessimistic, but ba-ba-ba-bam. And that's it. Can you please show me on this flip chart, where is the time for you to live? To have your personal experience in this life.
I want to be in Turkey and you're dead.
Oh, probably, but I forgot to draw one more picture here, which is like, yeah. Because if you don't give birth to kids, the society will say, screw you, you are an outcast, where are the kids, where is the marriage ring, you. But not so far from us, even in Poland, even in Lithuania, Latvia, which are pretty close to our country, the situation seems to be a little bit different. Let's have a look. Basically, everything starts from the same old route. Your parents are here, smiling, holding you. The photographer is there, flowers, stuff like this. Basically, the difference starts already in the kindergarten, if not say like even earlier. At the age of 6 plus, the idea of education changes dramatically. First of all, this of course depends on the country. There are countries like Sweden where some schools do not give lessons at all. All the lessons are basically the experiments you are supposed to carry out with the teacher. All these are the lessons which you basically choose yourself. Let me show you how it works. I need 3 volunteers. For just 1 second. Okay, guys, just go get here. 3, please, because my knowledge of chemistry is not that good. Faster, we don't have so much time and people are getting bored. Okay, I believe you still remember some kind of very, very simple knowledge of chemistry. So, okay, lovely lady, you're going to be the molecule of oxygen. You're also the oxygen. Could you please get together? See, this is the O2 which our teachers usually show us. This is how it works. No books, no presentations, no screaming, just 2 guys, and in 1 second you realize how molecules work. Okay, if we add carbon, thank you so much, and voila! And it's getting super dangerous to stay in the room. Thank you so much, you can take your seats. And this is probably the most primitive approach you can have during teaching, because this is basically just, I showed how it works, and that's it. But there are people who are much more talented than me, but they are my colleagues, I have much to learn, who allow you to learn everything from practical issues. Most important thing is that they give you the choice. There was a conference, a really lovely conference for teachers and youth workers and responsible parents, which took place in spring in Minsk. And a woman from Estonia, who is the headmaster of a very famous school, she came and said, we don't give our kids home task and we don't punish them for anything, even if I find them drinking. I said, like, how on earth? Are you kidding? If your kids go to school and then they come back, where is the home task? But they don't need it. They remember everything from school because they've already done it. They don't need to learn anything else. It's already in their head. Terrific, but not for this one. All right, then you go ahead. So yes, the choice. Oh, also you can, of course, choose any hobby you like, but this hobby will be greatly supported by everybody. So basically, if you say, oh, the frog sounds kind of interesting, I'm going to go explore frogs, nobody is going to say you're an idiot. There are lots of frogs everywhere, but go find a nice economist. You need to concentrate on economy. No, here it's absolutely different. At the age of 14, 16, where most people can, of course, start their college education, nobody will say, screw you, college sucks. No, basically no. The respect to the person who finishes college is on the same level as the respect on the person who wears a white shirt and goes to a bank every day. Basically, even here in colleges, I wouldn't say they get more support or more, let's say I wouldn't say that the attitude changes greatly, but if you go to a college and if you go to university, the level of respect your society pays to you is still the same. Of course, if you want to get the job which is, let's say, more practically oriented, you can wait until you're 17, 18. And here the most interesting part begins. What do you think a typical European teenager can do at the age of 17, 18? Any ideas?
Gap year.
Sorry?
Gap year.
Okay, totally great. Anything else?
Might be travel.
Exactly. Anything else?
Working.
Yeah, definitely. Well, yeah, first, yes. Sorry?
Internship.
Yes, excellent. Though an internship requires some previous education, but still. Okay, of course you can go to university, but even with this tiny scheme, you can see that the variety is already growing, like the root of the tree. And from internship, there will be more lines. From gap year, more lines. From travel, more lines. From university, more lines. And basically, the last thing you will see somewhere here in the end will be Turkey. That's the most interesting part. But, of course, we may say, like, okay, Liara, it all sounds pretty boring, pessimistic. What are we supposed to do? If not, go here from the very beginning. No. In fact, for Belarusian youth, there are lots of ways to skip from here to here easily. Let's start from something which is probably the easiest. Travel. Only 1 star, because this is by far the easiest thing you can afford yourself. You can tell me, shit, like, I need a visa, I need money to travel, I need the permission of my parents. Basically, again, what you have to do is to be 18 plus and to have a brain. That's basically enough. I can tell you for sure that just a few days ago, there were huge sales on Vueling Airlines and people could afford themselves aviator tickets for €1. I beg in our country, all you can afford for €1 is a box of matches. So if you say you cannot travel, it means that this part is kind of blurry in your aspect. So please be careful with that. Again, if you say like, I need accommodation, something, have no money, go couch surfing. There are lots of people who would be super happy to give you a place, even on a rug if you're not super sophisticated. Or you can even find those who will give you a bed and will be listening to your beautiful Belarusian songs. The same stuff will be here if you say, I speak no language. But here in this country, you do not speak language. When you move outside, you do speak language. And this is it. I'm sorry, but I'm not going to discuss it. So the second part, which is also quite easy to do, but still a bit more difficult than pure traveling, is being a volunteer. Does anybody have a slightest idea of what a volunteer is? All right. Yes? Yeah, definitely. So basically, you shouldn't treat a volunteer like, okay, I have a job, for example, and I need more people to help me. I'll find a volunteer. I'm not going to pay the volunteer because they are going to work for free and I'm going to smoke crack. No, it doesn't work this way. The volunteer works, but in exchange, the volunteer gets benefits. The smallest benefit you can get is, of course, traveling and learning the language. Because unless you travel to another country, your language will never flourish. Trust me, as a teacher, I'm sure that the people who have been abroad will prove it as well. Then, the second benefit is that a volunteer is not the person who is going to go and milk a cow. It's not the person who is going to sort out your emails while you are watching your social networks. Being a volunteer, you choose the specialization which you need for your future. And basically, you go and take the advantage of having an experience in advance of those people who are still learning to get the experience. I will tell you about my personal example. I've been a volunteer in Belarus for a few times, and I'm going on to Austria for a year to become a volunteer at a local youth center. The only thing you need to keep in mind here is that you need to be from 18 to 30 years old. I'm a lucky person because this time I was chosen. I've applied for voluntary projects for many times. Luckily, I'm suitable. But for you, you still have more than 12 years to try. Please go try. It's worth it. Trust me. Then, what's going to be the next one? Let's call it youth participation. Again, any ideas? What's going to be youth participation? 3 stars, like a good hotel. No idea? All right, I'll tell you one more example from my personal life. Once upon a time, I used to be just a student, and I also was at school, and I had a pen friend from France who kept asking me, how on earth don't you travel? Why don't you participate in Erasmus projects? Why don't you know what Erasmus is? I said, but screw you, I'm from Belarus. This is the country which doesn't know so many things that you can hardly imagine with your tiny French brain. What it's going to be like is something very similar to what Nella does, to what Sasha does, and lots of other people who are here, but abroad. The benefits are, again, so first of all, you only choose projects which are necessary for you personally. If you're not interested in ecology, no one is going to force you to take care of birds somewhere in Alaska or something like that. For me personally, I've participated in more than a dozen, I would say, and there are 3 more coming this year. And all of them are kind of circling around youth participation, youth involvement, youth empowerment, and stuff. Basically, the topic is very diverse. And what I basically do is help you by creating projects, by telling what I can do right here, by giving my personal trainings and stuff. We will discuss it a bit later when you have the time for interaction time. And the most important, I would say probably the most beneficial for you, but still the most difficult, will be your studies. As for the studies, they can also differ greatly. You can just go on an exchange. An exchange can be from, let's say, 1-2 weeks to even 2 years if you're going to take your master's degree abroad. Or this can be a complete university course abroad. For me personally, I haven't done this one, but I have the experience in that one because when Belarus was only allowed to participate in Erasmus exchanges, I was lucky, or maybe I went to the church, don't remember, but I went there, and I spent half a year studying in Hungary. This was the year which changed my life most dramatically. Not here, not here, not here, not when I kissed for the first time, not when I got the dog. This one. This is going to change the life. This is going to say, Jesus Christ, I can do something different in this life. For that one, you need much more efforts, because here you can only enter a Belarusian university and apply. If you're going to be here, you need to work as hard as a donkey in spring. But this is going to be worth it for sure. Again, I'm sure there is at least one person who is Nella who can share her experience in applying for that. To end it up a little bit, I'll say only one thing. Of course, the easiest, the laziest, the simplest stuff is this one. But basically, of course, you know what's going to await you. Of course, there may be 3 kids. It may be Thailand, not Turkey. And maybe you will die somewhere here. Who knows? But hopefully not. But the problem is that no matter what kind of path you choose here, the basic idea is that here it will always be ahead. Here is the progress. I don't say that Belarusian education doesn't offer you the things you deserve, but the problem is that they teach you today what you didn't need even yesterday. That's why what you're going to do is probably come back home, think a little bit, make your wise choice, and if necessary, just go ahead. I'm sure if you have the goal, you know how to reach it. Thank you.